Hey guys, Mike here. So definitely an interesting day in the market. We got Roaring Kitty coming back out. It's going to do a live stream tomorrow, and that absolutely sent a lot of stocks just flying sky high. So we'll talk about that. Also, I'll show you how somebody made a boatload of money in a very short amount of time with what I would call insider trading. But again, hey, we see it happen all the time. Also, I'll connect Tesla and GME and show you those two charts. You might not have seen this before, but if you see GameStop go crazy tomorrow, watch out for Tesla, okay? And I'll show you why that is. Also, you might notice a big news candle, a down candle on NVIDIA midday. I will show you what that's all about. Our government doing their job, so to speak. Wink, wink. And also, probably more important, the most important thing is the trend is continuing with these central banks. Got another cut today, right? So that puts Bank of England on watch. We'll see if that puts any pressure on our Fed, right? We talked about that, and that's very important. If you see what happened today, again, we had jobless data come out. We had initial jobless claims and continuous jobs claims come out. More people lost their jobs than expected, and so that was actually bad for the economy, great for the market. So, of course, the future started recovering after that. And then when you look over here, I think this to me is the biggest news. And we'll see if this is a trend, right? All of a sudden, the ECB comes out and they make their first cut. You had Bank of Canada come out, obviously yesterday. You got the Swiss and the Swedes doing it. So we'll see if Bank of England is up next. That's what people are watching. If they do it, you can bet money the Fed's going to be cutting this year. Now, obviously, Roaring Kitty came back out and said he's going to do a YouTube live stream. Must be nice to have this kind of power. GameStop and so many others just jump, right? Big time. Even Tesla and a bunch of others, right? Here's what's crazy. This person right here, I saw this before this news came out, bought $876,000 of a out-of-the-money call order, right? Within less than an hour, they made 75%. I will let you multiply 75% times 860K. I think they actually went higher than that. But that is crazy. Don't tell me it was either him, Roaring Kitty, or one of his buddies or somebody. But obviously somebody knew he was going to come out with that. And here's the other thing to keep in mind. What did Jim Cameron tell us, right, coming into this? What was it going to be? And this is important to listen to and understand. This is what you're going to see because it's going to be super volatile in so many different areas. Here's why.
And that leads to something we've also talked a lot about, which is dispersion. Okay. Right? That means the index can be very pinned, much like it was in 2017.
Stocks are going everywhere.
But the correlation starts to break down. There's a structural effect that when the index is pinned and something goes up, by definition, something has to go down. So it actually exacerbates correlation breakdown when vol is pinned on the index level. We're likely to see that for the next 3 months through the summer. And what that means is, people are like, well, what's going to go up and what's going to go down? Listen, you don't necessarily need to know that. You can play in the vol markets, this dispersion and the breakdown and correlation. You will get rotations violently one way for a month and then violently the other way. The most likely places to see up moves are places where hedge funds in particular who are over levered and what's increasingly going to be in a liquid market this summer, they're short. And you're starting to see some of this kind of GME, AMC kind of narrative meme stuff again. That's kind of a clue, I think, till we're going to get the running of the memes, I think, again this summer.
And so far, that's what we're seeing, right? I mean, I think you may just continue to see this going, unless Roaring Kitty just becomes a billionaire and then walks away and never does it again, assuming that is him on his Twitter and all that other stuff. But he's going to be on YouTube tomorrow, so I guess we'll find out. But again, let me know if you're playing that. What your prediction is. Do you think it's going to be a sell the news event, or do you think it's going to go absolutely crazy like it did today and stuff? So let me know. I know I had a buddy of mine. He was texting me, and he said he had a call. He had bought it. It was expiring tomorrow. I think he paid like $200 for it. 90% down. He goes to lunch, comes back. He ain't paying attention to it because it's going to expire worthless anyway. And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm up 300%, like just like that." So going down almost 200. I think he was up like 595 or whatever he texted me. So congratulations to him. And then of course he's like, "What do you think the question is? Should I sell it? Should I sell it?" Like, what do you want me to tell you that for? Like, come on, dude. I mean, sell it if you want to and do what you want to do, right? I mean, I'm not going to be the one. I can't predict what GameStop is going to do. A lot of people tell you they can, but that's just ridiculous. You don't know what that's going to do tomorrow. So we'll see. If you need the money, you take it, right? If you don't need the money, it's just gambling money anyway. Do what you want to do. Let it ride. Do what you got to do. Let me know if you're doing something like that. Now, you might notice on NVIDIA today, had a big old red candle right there. Drop down. All right, I think it was 5%, if I'm not mistaken, right there. Let's measure it out, what that is. Yeah, about 5%. So, of course, what was that big drop before the pop? You can see right here, here's our government. They're getting involved, right? All of a sudden, the U.S. Department of Justice, they make a deal with the FTC, and so they're going to investigate NVIDIA, see if they violated antitrust laws. What are they looking at in particular? The Justice Department will lead an investigation whether NVIDIA, the leading maker of chips that train and operate AI systems, has broken antitrust laws to oversee fair competition in business and aim to prevent monopolies. Oh my goodness, monopolies, what is that? And so I'm going to touch on this in just a second, but you can see on NVIDIA's chart, obviously it popped back up, but what's it doing? It's trying to set this out of support right here, right? This is what it's trying to do since Tuesday. So far, we got 2 pops off of it. So we'll see, again, leading over, still in this channel right here, as you can see. Still got room to come over, but it's trying to make that into support right there. And the level's about 1186, if I'm not mistaken. But the fact they're investigating them for monopoly, which amazes me. I mean, what amazes me about our country is, I don't know if other countries are this way, that there's one company, I won't even name the company, you see if you know who it is in the comments, I want you to put it in the comments, who at one point in time had 90% of search engine traffic, 90%, and was never considered a monopoly. Okay, so I'm just curious what you think, because the reason why, if you're not from this country, you don't have to deal with this probably in your country, but in here, one reason is you got these conglomerates, right? There's no such thing as a monopoly anymore, right? And so you got Microsoft and all the big boys, they just send checks and donations and everything to our Congress, and so they're good to go. Congress insider trades on information they know about these companies to buy stocks in these companies. I mean, Pelosi's got to be up, God knows how much, in those NVIDIA calls she bought a long time ago, and even her PNW call that turned out well now. And so, again, not just her, but so many of them. I'm talking about crazy. I guarantee you, they make more trades than some professional traders do. That's what's crazy about it. Some of them are just insane amount of not purchasing long term, actually trading these stocks on insider information they get up there, which is not considered illegal because I guess they're the ones that make the rules and laws anyway. But anyway, that's what we go through here. So it's, does it surprise me they're going to do an investigation? What I want to see if they actually come up with something. That's what I want to know. All right, let me know what you think about that. But to show you how crazy NVIDIA and its chart is, here's this guy right here. I'm going to show you who is a professional at this. He gets paid by big money clients to help with their investments, to do the charting. I mean, he's been doing it for years, so he knows how to chart, okay? And just listen to him is how crazy, when you look at NVIDIA, is.
Okay. And it turns out no one has a clue about this stock. It's been so exceptional. Just to make it very clear, 1 year ago, it was trading at $375 in early June, a year ago. And Wall Street had a price target of $462, believing it would go up 23%. Well, here we are, and it's 1,224, not 462. It turns out it's just one of these things that's exceptional and very hard to handicap how far it will go, when it will end. But we can look at the charts and try to figure out at least maybe the next hour or two. So let's do that. The formation, the setup, the event that has occurred is that breakout, news related, and now the stock is up some 25-30%, having moved from the high 900s to 1225. Let's keep that and then look at this same on a longer term chart. And let's keep that formation and look at it again on a longer term chart, third iteration. And so the question is there any way to tell if this breakout has run its course? Now, final chart, this same time frame, and let's put the channel on. And so simply, were we to get to the top of the channel, you're talking about 1,400. Now, I have no clue whether it's going to go there, but momentum like this is dangerous in terms of doubting it or fighting it or certainly shorting it. It happens to be an exceptional moment for an exceptional stock that will, of course, one day have its reckoning. But right now, the buyers are in the ascendancy. The money is moving in.
So it's dangerous, Carter, and your hunch is that it goes to 1,400?
I would say, I would be, if you had to press and say you must be short or you must be long this stock for tomorrow at 9:30 and the next day at 9:30, I certainly wouldn't be short. So it's either stand aside and marvel at it or participate and be long.
And so again, that's a professional, and you see where he thinks. So let me know what your price target is. I've heard 1,400 before pre-split, so we'll see. Now, Tesla, you can see right here, you want to talk about getting just wedged and compressed, right? It's still holding that anchor VWAP from that low over there, still between the anchor VWAP. There's a bunch of anchor VWAPs right above it right there. Also, if we end up pulling up the moving averages, you'll see it's getting compressed down by the 100 moving average, and then underneath it's the 50th support. And so this is setting up for an explosive move in either direction. Nobody knows because this pay package is coming up to get voted on, but one thing I'll say is, And again, some people won't like this, but when you pull up Tesla and GameStop below it, anytime Roaring Kitty comes out and GameStop has a very big pop, man, Tesla's right with it, because Tesla was red most of the day. And so, and I'm not saying it's a meme stock or anything. What I'm saying is, it just, for whatever reason, people pile in to Tesla when GameStop starts to roar, when Roaring Kitty comes out. And you can just see, can it move on its own? Of course it can move on its own. But you see 4 different instances on here. And this only goes back to like May 9th, I believe. So you can see in a very short amount of time, even when Tesla isn't doing much, when Roaring Kitty comes out and says something, or GameStop gets any kind of pulse, Tesla goes right along with it. So tomorrow, if he does come on there and people just start buying up, the calls, and the GameStop start going crazy, you could see Tesla absolutely finally break above that 100. But because of all the compression, you could see it rocket to 185. It could happen. So I'm just saying, be very aware of that. Again, if GameStop dumps, maybe you see Tesla go the other way. But one other I'll mention here is going to be PayPal. And you see this one. I try to find out why this thing popped 7%, because it rarely has that big of a day. But all the news is old, right? The upgrades are old. The CFO news is old. And I even typed in, PayPal stock news. And I just didn't see anything to make it pop this much. And, the other fintechs weren't really moving like this one. But again, when I look at this fundamentally, man, is we've had many fake outs, right? Many pops and many drops. And when I actually look at this, I'm kind of sitting there going, wait a minute. Is this going to set up for a head and shoulders again? Like, it's done this before to us, right? If you pulled my little drawing tool up here, you can see, there's the shoulder, there's the head. Is this going to be in the right shoulder right here to come down and then make a drop, right? Because remember, fintech's been crushed. Why? Because of rates. Like, it's one of those one sectors that really, truly hadn't been able to break out of stage 1 at all. And so, again, it could maybe go to 70, 72, but that area right there has just been a beast. Total rejection. Okay, so I just want to put that out there to you. Let me know if you know what happened there. But tomorrow we will have some economic data coming out: unemployment rate, non-farm payrolls, average hourly earnings, and that's pre-market. So you have no kind of earnings from companies coming out, but that data right there will set the tone. And a lot of time you do on Thursday and Friday before we go into FOMC the next week, get these muted days, right? And we had that going on for quite a while. Okay, except in small caps. Again, they sold off 0.75% or whatever it was. They were just terrible all day. But again, it's just small caps. They're not doing what you think they're going to do. But again, you could see a rotation into those, because we start getting, this is the key, this rate cut talk again in September continues to go up and up and up. What normally happens to small caps and not industrials, but transportations, they go up. And we know IWM versus the SPY, as I told you, is all the way down to an all-time low, going back to the dot-com bubble. Okay, and again, it don't have to go up for IWM to go up. It just has to at least hold its own against the SPY, which means some money's coming out of SPY and going into small caps. All right, and so remember, it's not about, like I said in Saturday's video, you don't have to get a rate cut for small caps to go up. When small caps skyrocketed and started, I think it was last November, December, we got no rate cuts. Anytime it goes up, we get no rate cuts. It's the speculation. Okay, it's a casino, right? It's the speculation, baby. What number are you going to pick on roulette? Red, black, whatever. And so that's what it's all about. Okay, you starting to see, you saw the same thing I told you when we talked about it last week. Lulu and Ulta. I showed you it's one of the members video I did, right? And I said both of these, there's 3 or 4 of them coming into support with earnings. I think they're going to bounce, right? Because we've seen it so many times. When they come into support, it's not about what the earnings are going to say. They've just been beat down 30, 40%, and money likes to rotate in that and push it up. Lulu got a nice bounce. Ulta got a huge bounce. You see how that was totally manipulated, by the way. You see how much is sold off, but it's still just sitting in that support area, right? It won't break it, because if they break those areas, it's going to be a waterfall, right? That would be huge. And so, again, we've seen it many, many times. Hopefully that's one thing, you learned over the last probably 1.5 to 2 years, but that's what, kind of market we're going to see. And I think Jim Cameron's right when he said you're going to see huge swings all over the place this summer. That's just the way it's going to be. Rotations into others. Look at biotech over the last few days. That thing's just, they've been skyrocketing. Now it's at a key level, right? And I think it has to do with what happens to the 10-year, what happens to rate cut talks, and all that stuff when it comes to certain sectors like small caps and biotech, and there was one other putting a members video today. But anyway, I hope you guys got some out of it. I'll put out Saturday's videos. Put your questions at the bottom if you have any for Saturday's video, and then we'll do Sunday's video to set up the week, which should be a fun one, I'm telling you. So please hit the like, subscribe button on the way out, and I'll see you guys Saturday.